Good morning, crew. Sarah's gone for her daily run, so I'm going to give you a bit of an update about where we are on things here at the house at Isvrin. Not a ton of progress yesterday on the house itself. But some other things happened. And by the way, before I start, I want to congratulate you on your Guinness World Record. Well done, you, Beth, your dad, Duncan. You guys should be super proud. So anyway, on to more important things. I started actually doing some work in here. I've got my list. And you'll see, this was what I was going to spend time on, and it looks very similar. However, this is kind of cleaned up. There were a couple extra tables in here. This has been moved into the corner, which is, I think, where it's going to go in the long term. But this thing over here is a food warmer. And I actually spent, weirdly, an hour cleaning that, which was a waste of time. All this stuff over here is going to a thrift store. So we're waiting to figure out. We're going to send that when we have furniture to send. Yeah, a lot of this is going to stay here, but we've got way too many chairs. Let me say, stay here in the short term. In the long term, it's not. But I took the fridge up. I'm going to wander up into the dark here. I took the fridge. I cleaned it, actually, which also took me more than an hour, which you wouldn't think for a little tiny fridge like this. And I brought it up here on the landing, and we're gonna have, I also brought this table up. And in the long run, I know this is weird getting ahead of ourselves, but I have to clear that room downstairs. So we're gonna put probably a little electric kettle right there, so that if you're on the top floor, you can keep cream or a drink and have coffee. So, that really kind of all I accomplished yesterday. I did some, actually I got the shout out to Craig Daniels, who I've been corresponding with, and he's been watching the videos, and he set up a Google, I don't know what it's called, Craig. It's like essentially like a PowerPoint presentation where he took a bunch of the maps and the house plans that I put and pictures and put it together in a presentation. And I looked at it this morning when I was eating breakfast, and I was really tempted to go in and add all of my latest pictures and the views from different rooms because it's so cool. But honestly, I just don't have the time right now to do that. Craig, you're a bad influence on me. But the big thing that happened yesterday, which was super fun, was we had 3 different visitors who came. And so we knew we had a friend, Bridget, who lives in Llandudno, which is a 45-minute drive from here. And she was going to come over and have lunch with Sarah. And but at around, 9:30, quarter to 10, the doorbell rang, and I went, and it's a local Baha'i who I'd reached out to on Facebook, and she just was dropping by. And so she came in and had a cup of tea, and we had a nice chat with her. That was Sue. And then Bridget came at 10 o'clock, and we walked around the house with Bridget, and then Sarah went to lunch with Bridget while I started doing the stuff I wasted my time on. And when Bridget and Sarah came back from lunch, I was actually upstairs putting in the mini fridge, and Sarah yelled up, "We have a guest!" And so I came down, and our friend Amir, who lives in a village about 6 miles from here, who we met a year ago. I know I've told you the story when we were hiking basically on top of a mountain and ran into him, and he invited us back to the pub in their village, and we had the long conversation about Wrexham. Anyway, so Amir was biking through town and saw Sarah, and so he came in, and we hung out with him for a while. Meanwhile, Bridget and Sarah bought some gardening tools. So they came back with those, and that was what I needed to show you. And they went out and hacked away at some of the vegetation out here. And you can, I don't know if you can tell, but so this was all ivied in right here. And they cut all that back. Well, actually, maybe I should start. This is the pile of stuff that we took out. So we took off most of these wicker things. We couldn't get a couple of these off, but cut out all this brush here. But the big thing actually is, I don't know if you remember walking up here, this was all covered in brush. You can see where they cut it back here. So Sarah and Bridget cleaned that all up, which is awesome. Look at all that junk. Yeah, so supposedly this weekend they're gonna come and take that away. While we're up here, we might as well get a look at the view again. Yeah, this is what it's all about right here. Yeah. So the last two things are a couple logistics. First of all, it looks like we finally got council approval to put in a gas line, so we actually might have heat in rooms other than this one. But even with that, we got the conservation officer said, yeah, if you do this, you can go ahead and do it. And then the gas company came back and said, is this what you mean? And it was too late by then to actually get the approval Friday. So on Monday, hopefully the conservation officer will get back to us and say, yes, that's right. And then the gas company can go ahead and start the process of coming out and doing a survey so that they can then schedule the install. I'm not hopeful on that, but it's nice, some movement. And finally, we got a final estimate on all the outside work this morning. And so we're gonna go ahead and have them do that. And in a week or so, hopefully they're going to come put up scaffolding and start doing all of the, fascia work and drainage stuff and cleaning up and painting the back wall. They're going to redo the chimneys. While they're up there, they're going to clean them up and paint the one and redo the brickwork. So yeah, it's going to be kind of expensive, but actually, honestly, putting up the scaffolding is almost 5,000 pounds. So it's stupid not to do everything once the scaffolding's up. That's going to be, a significant chunk of the cost. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.